Hello, greetings. This is me again, Zahra Jawad. Not keeping well, but I will go on with this religious thing also, as thoughts are racing through my mind. So, about this, I have to finish this and show you, after having shown you the Shia side in Surah Anfal, that these Prophet Muhammad, after Prophet Muhammad, who has the authority and who should be followed, what is the who are the succeeders after Prophet Muhammad, right? And that Quran ayat in Surah Anfal, the last one, I think is verse 75. Very vague. So now we have this Shia Sunni conflict too. So, as I was trying to find out my Shia side, things were falling into perspective. Thoroughly purify you. Because it didn't make sense that Ummul Mu'mineen, who annoyed Prophet Muhammad, and we are told in Surah Tahrim this, that they would become the lead, the guides and all this, and are thoroughly purified, especially this verse. I think it's in Surah Azab. So the Shia thing made sense until I went through again the verses that I initially had problems with. Surah Nur, Ayat 33, and Surah Azab, Ayat 37. So, thus finding more and more discrepancies and seeing that he's turning out to be a tyrant, an absolutist tyrant, and with the Quran verses, discrepancies. So, this thing about one God worship God alone, be exclusively your whole religion being exclusively devoted to Allah in Surah Zumar, and then seeing the verses of for the idol worshippers. It's now, this one is a kind of an overall review, right? I've put in point form, I'll put it short, briefly giving it to you. So, number one, see the Musa and God's speech to Musa. That also, there are discrepancies. Imam Ali fails in the commentary. Okay, I had to pause this because a helicopter was passing by and making this sound. Now, I've shown you in the earlier videos how the discrepancy about God speaking to Moses. What is the speech? It literally says that he was called, meaning there was some sound, there was a word, O Musa, right, called out as O Musa. And then Imam Ali, when he tries to explain about the Quran, Surah Baqarah, second verse, commentary, that this word has come down, and so why God's speech is, we cannot have God speaking and God's speech in the sense that out loud in sound and voice. So that would limit him and this and that. So you can go on, I can go on left and right and back and forth on this. But as we checked, as I went through all the ayats of God spoke to Moses, the first, and all the other ones, when we are told that God called out to Moses, Surah Qasas, Surah Taha, Surah Shura, and Surah Nisa, verse 164, the part where it says that God spoke to Moses. So seeing the discrepancies in the explanation of Imam Ali on this, not directly but indirectly, when he explains about the glorious Quran and the words and all this, I've caught him. I've seen the discrepancy. You can see the discrepancy in worshipping one God. Surah Ankabut, love, the love out of love. Surah Ankabut, verse 25, remember? And remember Surah Shura, verse 23? How it changes like this. You know how we are made to look at this as it's only religion should be exclusively devoted to God. One God is there and no worship but of one God. How it is put. And then and then it goes on to say that take the Risalat, the Ajr Risalat, the award for the message is love of near of kin, and how the Shias are given this through the Imams, right, to favor Prophet Muhammad and his progeny only, because even the Sahabas in Surah Anfal we can see who are the faith, even the faithful cannot come up to, who have left their homes and all that. They are near, they can be called as Ahl al-Bayt, but not the nearest to Prophet Muhammad, who have the authority to guide us according to this religion and about this religion, according to the Quran ayats. So they don't even... So sorry if I make some bad English mistakes and all, English mistakes. So according to the Quran ayat in Surah Anfal, you can see what is the status of the believers. In the end, it gives that. But then there is a verse, I still have, it is your duty to teach them this religion if they want, right? So it's put on Muslims, like that is like a dawah or, but unless they come and ask you about this religion, in Surah Anfal, that verse, not the other verses, excluding the other verses, that if they don't go and get them, and if they don't hear the word of God, then you know what you do with them. Surah Tawbah ayahs and all. So I'm not very clear, but I'm giving you an overall view of this, right? Overall. So seems seems like Sunni Shia conflict, if you take it again. On one hand this, on the other hand that, and then one God worship. The one God worship. Sunnis think they know, but this one God worship, this worship exclusive, keep your religion exclusively to the one Allah. That way, right? So the Sunnis don't. That's why they do. They don't take. They don't worship Prophet Muhammad, but we Shias worship Prophet Muhammad. Surah Fat ayat. You see, so there's no unless we understand the Shia side, that what Allama Tabatabai said in his exegesis of the Quran, that unless you don't have authority, proper authority center, this means that you can worship Muhammad. Surah Fat ayat, if you we say, oh, they were servants of Allah and you can just honor them and all this, but no, every other ayat is like obey Allah and obey the messenger. What does it make? Indirectly, also without the Surah Fat ayat of honoring him and all this, and then people, the perhaps the Sunni translators and even the Shias, they take this Quran ayat as the Sunnis have translated in Surah. So to worship, his name, glorify his name morning and evening. It's actually Muhammad, glorifying Muhammad's name, morning and evening. It's that Quran ayat has been mistranslated by both Sunnis and Shias, in my opinion, as I studied it and examined it. And then the monks and the rabbis don't take them. And then that also ayat in Surah Tawbah verse 31 is mistranslated and mistaken. Oh God, so much confusion combing through. And when I combed through, I realized that, oh my God, how can you blame the idol worshippers? But they say, even smarter now they've become, that they say no authority has been sent down to worship these idols. But in Surah Zumar, the Shias, right? Because the Shias worked it out in this way. They had no other choice because of the thing that this religion goes into worshipping Muhammad and the progeny of Muhammad, right? So that's why. Like in Surah Zumar, we are told they say the idol worshippers, those who associate others with Allah, say we call upon them so they may take us near to Allah. That's Surah Zumar ayat. I've forgotten whether it's 3, I think verse 3 or something like that. Please check and correct me in your mind. So then I went on another, like, what is this? But then Allama Tabatabai, as the Imams explained this so cleverly, that no authority has come to them. Although they actually take these idols or whoever they associate besides Allah, even besides Allah, other than Allah, the words put is very clever, very confusing. Like on one hand, and you have no authority. On the other hand, so they do worship Allah. They do go for Allah. To reach Allah. They do worship idols or whatever, whoever they associate. But we are told that whoever you associate with Allah or besides Allah, you need to have authority. So Prophet Muhammad came as the authority, and we couldn't dream of questioning this Quran at one time, but now I have. And it is the devil's work. On one hand, blaming the Jews in Surah Jummah. Then in Surah Mumtahana, the way the verses I explained, right? As I come across discrepancies, more discrepancies, if I do go into this devil's work, then I will make a video of it. And sometimes even discovering online, going to some ayat, knowing it, and then discovering the other ayats that have discrepancies. So the idol worshippers, we are told, have no, provide, what are their names? Which one was that? That is in my notes book. So give their names. I mean, is this the way to ask someone? Idol worshippers. If those you associate, like there's no shred of knowledge, no shred of proof, evidence, sorry. And no shred of knowledge. What knowledge? What proof have you been given? Quranites, like this, right? In the gist of it I'm giving. So hope I'm explaining myself, because sometimes I'm not a teacher, I'm not a qualified person to do this. But I'm struggling, and so please forgive and overlook. And but the points and all, I may not be able to explain it properly, but hope you get the idea, and you are intelligent enough, more better. If you are teachers, you know what I'm saying. As a student standing up to explain or, show you as a project, my project in class or at work. So it's not very like a professional or something. Sorry about that. Now, love of the nearest of obligatory. Love of his nearest obligatory in Surah. This I've explained. I've just jotted down some points. Surah Ankabut I've explained. Verse 25. We take idols out of love for one another in this life. So, without our Prophet Muhammad, so I had a deeper understanding of this, that it's okay to take love, out of love, love my, for this message, love my near of kin. And then where is the proof, actually, that is beyond reasonable doubt, right? Reasonable proof, beyond reasonable doubt. So, if you take the idol worshippers, can you find proof of it? And how do you find proof of someone like a Sri, let's say, their idols? So they say that if you now go and check the Hindus, because I hardly a shred of the pagan Arab has been maintained. They don't have a thing to explain. Maybe there are some idols there that were broken, or some evidence there in Arabia or that part where Makkah and Medina. But not someone who can explain like this for them, be an advocate, right? Then we have the Jews. What they're saying about the Jews is do you see the discrepancy? So in short, let me see if I've. So in Surah Anfal 2, who has the authority? So as a Shia aside, it all falls into perspective until you realize there's one God worship, idol worshippers against idol worshippers, against Jews, a Christian Trinity not put properly, right? And where's the proof for you? It's just in a book and a progeny continuation. So we have to wait and see, but a proper proof in one immediate, like if you go to the idol worshippers, they say we have proof that these gods, Sri Ram was here, and all this. If you now ask the Hindus, because no shred of proof has been left over by the Muslims about but in a negative manner, right? Not in a positive. Their side. Well, what are their names? So in Surah Najm, what are their names? I mean, can you believe this? So I'm just now going to take one ayat like that and show you, right? So opening my note. And the Surah Zumar, and I've again forgot to give the intercession ayat, Surah Maida ayat 35. See, so before going there to what are their names, that ayat, I just want to put in about intercession. Seek the means of approach. Seek the means of approach. Then you can compare it to the Surah Zumar ayat. I think it's 3. That's the idol worshippers say that we associate with them to seek nearness to Allah. Now, what happens here in Surah Maida? Ayat 35. So examine these two ayats and see. As a Shia, you will say that, proof was Rasulullah's, Allah gave us proof. And we have the greatest example, exalted character and all this, of Rasulullah and the progeny. So this is their proof. And who but they can give us the message of the Quran and the what came to their grandfather, great grandfather, from the trusted spirit onto his heart. So we have this exalted messenger of Allah and his character. So looking for that ayat, yes, and even bowing down to Allah alone, Surah Yusuf, ayat 100. Yaqub bowed down to Yusuf. It was a complete bowing down. So hence again, with my notes, I was left with those ayats that blame idol worshippers. For example, Surah Rad, ayat 14 and 16, Surah Zumar, ayat 3. I must have given this in my I surely did give this in my previous video, but after the overall view of this Quran being a devil's work, how indirectly it is saying bad things about idol worshippers, Jews, Christians, associators with Allah. But the same thing take it and look at those ayats which they seek means of approach. The only thing is that they claim that authority has been sent. Otherwise, everything in this, you take the Shia practices, they say we follow Prophet Muhammad and his progeny. So everything is like the idol worshipping way, but there are no idols. And so on the face of it, we've been told that, do not worship anyone except Allah. Devote yourselves, take this religion exclusively, devote yourselves to Allah alone and worship Allah alone and all this. And you can see the discrepancies and how we have been deceived. And then you look at the Bani Qurayza, what he did to them. First you see, I don't know how to show you how. I've already been showing you, but again to give you this in words, explain to you. Or do you mean to inform him of something he does not know on the earth? Give me their names. Surah Rad, ayat of verse 33. Give me. Now you can go open your Quran to Surah Rad verse 33. I haven't opened it. Give me their names. Then you go to Surah Najm, and what does he say? Consider Al-Manat, Uzza, and Allat. Right? What is that? Those are not names of idols. So you can. Have I said it properly? Explained it? That there are discrepancies, there are contradictions. So even through the Imams' sayings, some of them I've examined the ones that came to my attention in multilingual Quran under ayats. You can see all this. And so when he says Allah is the witness, so the one who has knowledge of the scriptures for the Shias. So Allah is the witness. Even the idol worshippers can say Allah is a witness. So far we have found many discrepancies in the Quran ayats and forgiveness for Baduans. And if the hypocrites, they come to you asking for forgiveness, forgive them. But then so there's a verse, I know about it, that even if they ask for 70 times forgiveness from you, Allah will not forgive them. That means the messenger of Allah, if they come 70 times asking for forgiveness. So we say that we have to read it in context. the Quran, right? Uh, and these are those hypocrites who evicted him, exiled him, were running after his life, to kill him and all this. So read it in context. But even then, in other ayats, I think we have found ample discrepancies, and I haven't found that a surety. Even though the progeny is going on of Rasulullah, still haven't found that authority and that proof. Authority is there, but proof? No. Authority from God. I have not found, unless we have to now. Another point is that we have to trust in who's the authority, because they say Allah is the witness, then you cannot go to Allah but through them. So if you give, let's say, if we as Shias, no, as a former Shia, if I give Imam another proof, he will say, what will he say? Right? He will say, this is ghair Allah, this is not from Allah, because I am the sole proof provider. I'm the hujjat I'm the mirror of God on earth. I'm the only mirror of God, means proof of God on earth. So now think about it, right? How will we, if any proof we give them, they've given us a one-way road. That's it. There's no, they'll say, what will they say? Right? So trying to pause this. Okay, will they say Allah is the witness and the one who has knowledge of the scriptures is Imam Ali? So we go to Imam Ali and we ask him, what will we get? We will get from Imam Ali proof. And what the runaround we will get? When we get a runaround, even Imam Ali has failed to explain how Allah spoke to Moses, right? Glorifying his Quran ayats and revelations coming like this in word forms through an angel. So, and then we say in Mi'raj, he went closer to God, but did God speak to him? Or what happened? And that is a very high Gnostic, we say. But again, God, if God speaks, he has a voice. Or he speaks to you through your mind or intuition, and then you get the words. But here, again, back to Hazrat Musa's ayat, the ayats on Hazrat Musa and Allah speaking, I feel Imam Ali has failed here in the Quran ayats, right, to explain them. So you see another point that back to that they have left us with what authority? Okay, we go to the one who has scriptures, knowledge of the past scriptures and knowledge of the scriptures. Past scriptures have been distorted, however, and all this. So it was very tough to really get to this devil and expose him, Prophet Muhammad, and his evil work, the Quran. So I've done this far, come this far, and let's see, witness. Even the pagan Arabs, idol worshippers, would say that Allah is a witness, and so who is from their side the progeny, and the progeny would be cut off. Idol worshippers, Surah Qasr. So perhaps they even killed them, went on a mad killing spree, ending their progeny, the progeny of the idol worshippers. This is what has come to us. Surah Qasr ayat. In the end, what does it say? Seems like this was a really tyrannical devil who went out killing everyone, their progeny, and he just wanted his progeny to continue and that we would love him and his progeny. And so isn't it unfair? It just does not, it's unfair to say that take it from us. We are the true upholders and we are the authority and we are the proof, and no one can reach that true one God except through us. And if you worship, if you honor, assist Prophet Muhammad, see again, taking Surah Fatayat, what happens? Come on, you are intelligent enough. What happens? What are we doing? Taking Surah Fatayat. You give allegiance for the other one also in Surah Fatayat. On his hand, you have given birth to Allah. What if the pagan idol worshippers are saying the same thing? The Quran ayats are clear about that, but that they have no authority. And they just follow what their forefathers have given them. So progeny, right? Forefathers. It has been carried through their lineage, their light. Allah's light through them, right? So the sun's, and even beyond the sun's light, the sun gives light to everyone and everything. Okay, so what is this? The Surah Fatayat? That honor him, assist him. Isn't it Prophet Muhammad? It surely is until it says, the Quran ayat, they change it to I, Allah, and glorify his name morning and evening. So even if they mistranslate it and they put I, Allah, what does it mean? It means that honoring Prophet Muhammad is equal to glorifying the name of Allah morning and evening, or Allah morning and evening, not only the name. So how we have been thus duped and misled through all this Quran and authority against idol worshippers, so much so that it is unforgivable sin to take partners with Allah, associate anyone with Allah. He made it an unforgivable polytheism, polytheism, right? Unforgivable. And how cleverly he brought himself to be worshipped, actually, indirectly. Where the Sunni and Shias have this contention all the time and conflict, and they can't resolve their conflict. So about al Mu'mineen and al Mu'mineen, right? I have already spoken about that in a video, past video. So this, please see this, how and who gives them authority. Ask yourselves, who gives them authority? The Quran. The Quran has discrepancies that have shown already recorded, kept for the record on YouTube, social media. Okay, so please have a look at that and see how we have been misled. You decide and you see, and then you go through the history where he has definitely done zulm to cruelty, horrifying against Jews, the Bani Qurayza, against the Bani Nadir tribe, Jewish tribes. Thank you so much. Although not much, maybe, yeah, against the idol worshippers, he completely finished them, every shred of knowledge, their books perhaps, and even their leaders. So I'm thinking maybe all this, the idol worshippers were actually right, that, they're Allah witness. Maybe they had proof of their own. Like this, the angel came, right? Angel came to him, this ayat. And then who has made the imams? And we take pride in the continuity. But their race, the idol worshippers' race, I mean, you could just, turn the tables just and see that maybe he took it from them and so he put it on himself. And of course, he knew that a progeny would be going on. Even, see, the caliphs, Umayyad caliphs, and then the Abbasid, but they survived it. Their race has been there. And the Sunnis are their followers. So, but they may just not say that we are from the race of Yazid or this one, this caliph, Harun al-Rashid's race, Abbasid side, right? So actually, we are told that they were not allowing the imams to continue. They were after the Ahl al-Bayt of Rasulullah, whereas maybe, and how was it that in so much they could, so much, majority of people were there, the Sunnis, the Umayyads, the Abbasides, where the Sunnis have come out from, believing in. So I don't know how. So we see this progeny of Rasulullah survived. It's a miracle, right? So even Satan is given respite. It's a miracle, right? Misguiding people to no end. So I think the Quran now, after finding all these discrepancies in the Quran and verses and in the Imam saying, and in the favoritism of the one side, and the proof being lopsided, how can we sit honestly and say, please, pagan Arab idol worshippers, can you provide your proof? Where are their names? So if you're still in a doldrum, confused or what? The Surah Rad ayat, the number I forgot. I think I forgot to give it to you. Just have to, where is it? Where are their names? What are their names? Yes, I think, yes, I told you to open. Did I tell you to open Quran ayat Surah Rad, verse 33? I keep forgetting. Sorry, I keep forgetting. Give me their names. The names of those you associate with Allah. To go near to Allah, Surah Zumar ayat. So, is this right? So, evidence can be given by everyone and anyone. Authority. You can write a great book. Well, we have many great writers. See, if now that one also, if you think like find 10 ayats, 10 surahs, sorry, not ayats. So there's Khalil Gibran I gave, right? The Prophet, written by Khalil Gibran. More than 10, and that is better. I think I would go and read that for guidance. And you don't even need a guide for that. To be present with the Prophet, his book, Khalil Gibran's Progeny. It's a very good book. You can read it. appeals to your souls and hearts in love and in humility, that some criminal you see maybe a product of all the society's influence and all this. So like that, right? So then I'm going to now end at this 40 minutes. I thought it would be brief, less than an hour, and it is less than an hour, like 30 minutes. I would keep this video. So then let's see if I can explain it properly. In other words, I'll be coming back to expose this devil's work. Thank you so much.